A lot of news been coming out about what's going on with those shows. Those shows are some of the biggest tourist events we have in Bay County every year. They bring in thousands of people. So we wanted to ask Rendy kind of how things are going and what's going on. Rendy, how you doing?
Well, I mean, it's been quite the year. I mean, thinking back to 19 when we had our last event, who would have ever saw 2 years later it'd be before we have another event? Mm-hmm. It's been a learning process. It's been a lot of smoke and mirrors. I mean, I don't mean that to be political. It's just that you'll chase this thing. They believe this is truth, and then the next thing you know, that's not truth, and then you chase this thing, and and then you have politics that have become very much a part of what's going on with the live music scene, because all the other industries, every industry in the country is being helped. But live music is not being helped at all, and it is literally what we call a mega event, which is an event over 20,000 people. It will literally almost be 2 years since there was a mega event happen in the world, not just the country, but the world. So it's been hard. You try to do your normal thing to where you get people excited, and because that's what I do. When we get ready to do Gulf Coast Jam or Sand Jam, you just, come on, let's go. You just kind of leading a big circus. And so you think you're going here, and then, oh God, we had to cancel this. And when we canceled Sand Jam, I would have never thought Gulf Coast Jam would have canceled in 19. Never.
Right.
Then we canceled Gulf Coast Jam in 19. I would have never thought March would have been an issue. And then we get to March, and it's an issue again.
Right.
But I honestly think now, through everything we're dealing with, all the governmental influences we have, and all the artists and their fears, I think moving to June is I think we're going to happen. I think between the vaccine, with precautions that we've established in our COVID safety plan, and I mean, it's kind of like, it's a very strange comparison, but it's kind of like when Vegas happened and the sniper went crazy and killed all those people. You adjust, because the bottom line is, in the festival business, I mean, we sell to 50 states and 14 countries, so it's a worldwide event. We're in the top 10 events in the world right now, in country music. You want your consumer to feel safe no matter what. Sure,
you're facing a really unique balance. I mean, you want people obviously to come and gather together,
right?
Have a good time at your show, but you also have a responsibility to keep them safe.
It's the truth, and you. I mean, people think about these things. Like when we moved to May. People don't know this. We were actually moving to May 21, 22, 23. And well, then all of a sudden we get a phone call. American Idol needs Luke to be for the finals of American Idol. That just happens to be May 21, 22, and 23.
Right.
So then we went scrambling to find another date, because Luke Bryan he's our headliner. He's Mr. Panama City Beach. He's the Panhandle dude, and he's been family this whole walk. So we ended up moving to June. So it's crazy, and people think, why you did this and why you did that, and they think, well, you should have canceled this 60 days out. Well, I was trying to fix this a long time before 60 days out. So it's just one of those things when you're dealing with so many moving parts, so many different personalities. You just kind of you revise and adapt. But the bottom line is, everything we do is trying to make the consumer feel safe. Surveys that we've had and taken with our crowd is they want to know when they're sitting in their seat, they're safe from COVID.
Right.
Now, how can I guarantee that?
Sure.
So we're doing a lot of things and trying to put together some precautions that are going to make a difference. And then at the same time, come June, with the vaccines and with everything that's coming out, I mean, who knows? We may be in a totally different position.
Let's run this down. You've got Gulf Coast Jam now is set for June, and you've moved Sand Jam to the fall.
Correct.
Is that correct?
So we got Gulf Coast Jam. The reschedule from 19 is going to be June 4, 5, and 6, and then we have Labor Day.
So how long have we? That's 2 years, right? I mean,
well, Labor Day would be 2 years.
Okay.
It just happens to be that thing. So,
sure.
But Sand Jam, I mean, that was April. Yeah. So it's been a long time. But then we're doing Labor Day. We're going to continue to do Labor, because that's our brand. That's what we've built. We're trying to finish what we had for June. Then we'll do Labor Day, the Labor Day weekend like normal, and then October 1, 2, and 3 is Sand Jam.
Have you looked at all, and I don't know that you would want to do this or can do this, but for a concert in June, have you looked at saying to people, you're going to have to prove to us you've got a vaccine or you've had a vaccine or whatever before you can come in?
There's a lot of conversations that are moving in place. I don't think I can require somebody to have a vaccine. I think that goes beyond
Sure.
our right, and that's just me politically.
Yeah.
But I do think I could require them to show me that they've had a COVID test, that they are negative, because that's the easiest way I can prove that you don't have somebody sitting next to you is to see a COVID test that's good within a certain number of days.
Right.
So, I mean, I know that's a possibility of discussions that we're taking in right now. Again, nothing's finalized because June is 4 months away. So you're kind of going, anything could be different by then. I mean, if the president gets done what he says he's going to get done, I mean, we could have a herd immunity by then.
Right.
So, I mean, we're trying to establish things. We're working with different companies that are helping us protect people. There's a company called 3P America. They have a hand sanitizer that lasts 9 hours. Literally, you spray it on your hands, and it works with something. Forgive me if I'm telling you the wrong thing.
That's all right.
I'm not, a scientist.
I haven't heard this before. Yeah.
No, it's well, we've done some serious researching.
Sure.
But it does something with your cells in your hand, and it literally lasts 9 hours.
Wow.
So we're going to have, when you walk into our park, Frank Brown Park, we're going to have hand sanitizer stations that you walk in, you spray your hands. Allegedly, you're good for 9 hours. Well, that took you to the end of the night. So it doesn't matter what virus you touch. It doesn't matter if you wash your hands 100 times. Literally, it sticks with you. So, and they have sprays that you can spray bathrooms that last for 4 weeks.
Right.
So it's like there's just all kinds of stuff that's out there that touch area. Also, with Gulf Coast Jam, we're going completely cashless. So you can't bring cash into the park. So we'll have the wristbands, RFID bands, where you can actually scan your wrist and pay for everything and know where you're going. I'm getting an adjustment.
while we're adjusting.
That's called live TV.
Brian, can you go over and turn the scanner down over here so I don't have to hear them yelling in the background?
I did notice that myself.
Did you? Yeah, absolutely. So the headliners, talk a little bit about the headliners for Gulf Coast Jam. We're hoping we're going to have it in June.
We're gonna have it in June. Let's don't hope anymore. What
are you hearing from them? Are they chomping at the bit? Are they concerned? What are you hearing?
Both. I mean, before we make any decision, we had to talk to everybody, and I mean headliners. I would say Luke and Brad, or Luke, Brian, and Brad Paisley, to be clear, both were concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, because they probably the most active in it. But even Leonard Skinner, I mean, of course, half the guys in their band would be considered of age to be concerned.
Sure.
So, but everybody wants to play. This isn't about not wanting to play. It's truly about liability. Let's just get real.
Yeah.
Liability is a huge issue. So somebody gets sick, then they start blaming, that's where I got it. Well, you can't prove that, so you're liably set. But you have people who think that. Then you have artists that are concerned with, well, if somebody gets sick or somebody dies, why did you have this event? I mean, from that perspective, you have the other extreme where you have, these are people that play to 20 and 30,000 people a night. I mean, 2 years ago, Luke Bryan was breaking records across the country in attendance. So he's not enjoying.
He's not enjoying sitting at home.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Well, his wife would probably disagree with that, but I mean, he's definitely not enjoying not playing to his people.
Yeah.
And I know this: his people are missing him.
Yeah. Well, it's costly too. I mean, I assume you can speak to that. I mean, if you're losing a whole segment of really the economy when you're losing live music, right?
Man, it's when you sit down and you think about every day, there are literally thousands of events that happen worldwide. And that it will be almost 2 years before an event. Again, you have smaller events happening even now.
Sure.
But I'm talking about anything over 20,000 people. I mean, it'll be almost 2 years. So it's, there's something that's just missing from the economy. There's something that's missing socially I mean, we have people at Gulf Coast Jam that literally come to the park every year. They get early entry tickets, and they go to their neighborhood sitting section where they've sat every year since Gulf Coast Jam started.
Wow.
And their friends are there. We have a group of ladies that come down from Atlanta that sit in the same place every year.
Wow.
So, and the people have that family mentality. So, I mean, we're talking about, what we're talking about with concerts is what America's talking about every day about everybody with COVID. So,
Are promoters like you and businesses that are in your business, have they gone out of business? I mean, are there lots of them that are just not there anymore?
You have the big companies like Live Nations that are publicly traded who obviously don't have the issues that we have.
Sure.
I mean, we have had to lay people off. We've had to restructure debt. We've had to rob Peter to pay Paul, to pay Stephen, to pay Jim, to pay Bill, to keep going. It does us no good to move events. I mean, every time you move an event in our business, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah. And
people don't understand that. People just think that, we just moved again from March to June, and people, you go on our Facebook, you're a coward, you can't believe you did this, or you have one extreme, then you have the other extreme that says, thank you for being safe, thank you for thinking of my family. So you have both extremes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's so politically divisive,
It is.
You're obviously trying, I don't want to speak for you, but you're trying to do the right thing, I would assume.
That's kind of our motto.
Yeah.
Honestly, every year, whether, you refund tickets, some festivals right now haven't refunded tickets. Well, every time we've moved this event, we have offered refunds. That is not a fun thing to do.
I bet
but
not.
At the same time, you want your consumer to know, you know what? We're going to protect you and honor you too, because that's another reason. The other extreme is we canceled the event from Hurricane several years back. Everybody got reimbursed. So now they don't ever hesitate, do I buy this ticket or not, because they know we're going to do the right thing.
Sure, absolutely. So for Gulf Coast Jam, are tickets on sale now for June?
Yeah. Tickets have never come off a sale. Yeah. We at one time were headed to the biggest year. We were on track for September to be the biggest year of our history by 40%. We could have saw 30,000 people. And then when we had to cancel it, the first round of cancellation was pretty massive because people were scared and people didn't know what to think. People didn't. They were scared coming into Christmas. We had all kinds of, but it doesn't matter because if that's what you wanted to. So we got down to about, half. We refunded about 50% of the tickets.
Right.
And then this last time, people are scared. They don't know what to think, and I get it. We've done everything to try to increase our marketing. We actually took our ticket prices, which we were already at, a month before the show. So we were almost at gate price, and when we canceled for March, we actually reset the money, and we actually paid people that had paid more money down to the 119. So we actually took ticket prices back to where it was in 2019.
Yeah.
And we paid them refunds, even if they were still coming. We refunded their cash money to whatever that price value was. So we've tried to adjust every which way we can.
All right.
And it's the truth of the matter is, when it gets down to it, I don't want to bring a super spreader to Panama City Beach from all over the world. I want to do what's right. I live in Panama City Beach. Mm-hmm. My partners live in Panama City Beach. That's our home. I don't want to bring in 14 countries in all 50 states to Panama City Beach unless there's a safety plan that's in place to make people feel safe. So we continue to research, we continue to do what we need to do, but also we continue to honor people's rights.
Yeah.
And, that we perceive as their rights.
Sure.
But again, we're going to do what we have to do.
Yeah. When it happens in June.
Good word.
I
hate to correct you again.
When it starts in June, when
Sure.
the first person walks on stage and starts playing, how do you think you'll feel?
I don't know. I might lay down and cry. Emotional because it's, I tell people when you cancel events, it's like getting married, standing at the altar, and your bride never shows up. Mm-hmm. It's you spend a year working on an event we work all year long for 3 days, and it's kind of anticlimactic. But at the same time, I think we'll be excited because I think the people will be excited. I mean, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of messages we get every day from people saying, I'm so ready to go back. Even like your buddy over here, man. I mean, I'm ready to go back to work. I'm ready to go back to school. I'm ready to go see live music. I want to go play again and be happy. Listen, man, it's biblical. It goes back to the biblical days. Music calms the soul. And it's just, I believe people want to hear live music. And there's nothing different than when you sit down at a show with 25,000 people. And the PA starts, and that headliner hits that stage, and they do whatever their fancy intro is, and the goosebumps get on the goosebumps, and then all of a sudden, there it is, and it's live, and it's there, and you're in the middle of it, and you feel the bass, and you feel the energy of the crowd. I mean, there's nothing that replaces it. So just like a promoter that feels that way, the artist feels that way, and the consumer feels that way. Yeah. So I think it'll be exciting. I think it'll be exciting.
If you're watching us on Facebook and you got some questions, we're checking that. So we may have a couple more questions here. The lineup is pretty strong. I'll tell you one artist that I sort of discovered in the pandemic and now can't get enough of is Cody Jinks.
Cody Jinks.
Man, he's rock solid.
Man, Cody Jinks is kind of saying, "Screw you, world. I'm doing it my way."
Yeah.
And he does. I got to be honest here too. I mean, listen, these bigger acts, it's very easy to say I'm out. You know what I mean? And Cody is stuck with us. I mean, he's a big Texas artist as well as nationwide, but he's real big in Texas, so he can play a lot in Texas. But he is stuck with Gulf Coast Jam, and he's become one of my favorites because he is stuck with it.
Who else in the lineup are you looking forward to seeing?
Anyone. Just one. I'll take the little ones. I don't care, because I know if the little ones playing, the big ones are playing. Honestly, I'm very Cody is definitely one that I want to see play, and Skynyrd. I mean, it's their farewell tour that they've been trying to have for 2 years. So it's exciting to think that Skynyrd.
I didn't realize it was their farewell.
Yeah,
tour.
They were on their farewell tour when COVID struck. And so now that shut them all down, they're having to kind of restructure it again. But to think that Gulf Coast Jam could be one of the last places Skynyrd ever plays in, that's pretty dang impressive, man. Yeah. And Skynyrd, I don't care if you're 8 or 80. Yeah. Leonard Skynyrd has had influence in your life, and anybody that plays football or goes to football games at Alabama, I mean, their life has changed every time that song comes on.
Yeah. We've heard a lot from him over the years.
Sure have.
For sure. Okay. Let's see. We're going to ask some questions that folks have for you. This is coming from Facebook. The app. Is the app coming back? Is that going to be available?
Absolutely. Everything will be just like normal. Matter of fact,
you're going a little bit more high-tech. You're going cashless.
Cashless. I mean, again, you're trying to make everything be safe, so the cashless is all about touch points. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even the toilets are going to get sprayed every day. So it's one of those things. But, yeah, the app is 100% coming back. It's a convenient thing because it tells you where parking spaces are. Yeah. So if you're coming in, if you have the app, you can see where you can go park. Mm-hmm. If you want to have a certain kind of food, it tells you where to go to eat your food. And see, now the app becomes interactive with the wristband, the RFID band. So now I can actually tell my sponsors, well, you had 7,000 people show up at your gate tonight, so don't tell me your money wasn't worth it.
Right.
That type of thing. So, sure. And then we can see where they go around the city, so that we can tell the city the people that came to Gulf Coast Jam went to see Firefly, for dinner. So it's a good thing.
What's your partnership been like outside of with the other businesses that are outside of the venue? Have you and the city itself?
Sponsors itself.
Yeah, sponsors.
I
and
mean,
all that kind of stuff.
Honestly, amazing. Of course, our big headline sponsor, our title sponsor is Pepsi. Been with us since Bama Jam. I mean, they're scared. I mean, that's you got a worldwide brand there, and they would every time we talk probably every 2 or 3 weeks, and we have a big corporate meeting, and of course we normally used to meet in person, but now everything's meeting.
I don't picture you in a corporate meeting. That's do they make you wear a suit for that, Rendy?
No, they don't make me do squat because that's what happens when you
Yeah.
You can kind of be your own man at my age.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's honestly, they're very concerned about image. They're concerned about, having people accuse them of being irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very aware of the brand, and you're dealing with a corporate atmosphere where you have people in New York City that are making decisions about one of their live events. We're one of the few music events that Pepsi is still with.
Right.
They've gone to sporting events and everything else, but we're one of the few ones that are still with them. And they're just great. They're great partners. They had never left. It could because a lot of events have had partners leave.
Sure.
I mean, the same way with Panama City Beach. I mean, the tourism of TDC has been amazing to us, but I think we're good for them because, I mean, we market all over the country.
Well, and you're bringing people in from,
you
say, all over the country.
But they've been so supportive. The TDC board has been so supportive. Everything has been friendly. Where it could have been very, very intense, it's been very kind and understanding. I mean, for the most part, you have a few nut jobs that try to attack what's going on, but they don't understand. The funny thing is you listen to some of the things they say, and they have no clue what they're talking about. Right. They accuse the TDC of this or accuse this or that, and 99.9%, they don't even have their facts right. Mm-hmm. But you can't say anything because if you give them credibility by saying, oh, that's wrong, well, that feeds their ego, so you just ignore them. Yeah. But the reality is they've been great. I mean, Jim Beam has been they're another one of our national sponsors, and they've been solid. They're just ready for it to happen, and they want it to happen right. Yeah. They want it to be safe. They want it to be. They'd rather wait until everybody's okay. All the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and but at the same time, they know. Yeah. They know.
So our Facebook folks, they want to know Keith Urban. When's Keith Urban coming back? Kid Rock is another name that they brought up. When's
Do you know
Kid
what?
Rock coming back?
That's a funny story. You want me to ramble a little bit?
Sure. No. Yeah, absolutely. Ramble a little bit.
Well, that was the year Jason Aldean had got his tummy ache, and he. I mean, that's the whole thing. People thought that we knew that he was. I mean, they just don't have a clue. Yeah. I found out literally 30 minutes before Jason was going on stage. His tour manager came off the bus and went, "He is too sick. He can't go on stage." And I went, "Whoa, what?" Literally 30 minutes. That's when we found out.
The joys of being a live music promoter.
Of course, everybody says, no, it happened this way, or it happened this way. And no, he had this on. I've heard stories where that had Reba on hold on a jet in Nashville ready to come take his place. And I'm sitting there going, man, some people just have an imaginary. But anyway, the next night, of course, that night, it was kind of hostile environment after Jason didn't play. People were pretty upset.
Sure.
So Kid Rock comes to the show, and I've known Kid forever. He's been doing shows from us since Bama Jam, and even forever. And he's just one of those local. He lives close, he acts close, and he's a rebel without a cause. I mean, it's just in his music. So I went, man, Bob, I need you to save me, man. Sure. I said, these people don't like me right now, and they think that I've done something wrong, and I need you to save me. And he said, man, I got you. And I want you to know he put on one of the best shows I've ever seen in my career. And I've been doing this a long time. Right, yeah. He blew people away. And so afterwards we have all these reviews and what people, and people are walking out and they're you have police all around me because they're afraid that somebody's going to come up and get in my face. But everybody was going, man, best show I've ever seen in my life. Kid Rock was amazing. I mean, it's so you have that kind of encouragement, and all of a sudden they're going, "Okay, we forgive you, Randy." So,
oh, that's good.
It is. It was. But if you went back and looked at the Facebook comments the night of Jason Aldean, there was a lot of nasty names about Rendy Lovelady. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, and people have their hearts set on seeing one
person.
That's
right. And people came.
That's how I'm going to feel if Cody Jinks doesn't show up. I'm going to be like, oh, that's the guy.
Well, if Cody Jinks doesn't show up, you and I both are going to feel that way.
Yeah, but anyway, what's kind of the big thing? We've talked for a while, but what's the biggest thing you want fans, you want customers to take away from what's going on and what you're trying to do?
We're doing the best we can. We're trying to figure this out too. I mean, you have extremes of we got to get back to work. We got to have live events, to the other extreme of, people are sick and dying.
Yeah.
So what is reality? So reality is the best picture you can paint between the two, and that's what we try to do. And I really believe June will happen. It's not me being calculated. I believe for the first time now that I've lived it a year, I kind of understand it a year.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe June's going to happen. And with God's help and covering and strength, I really do believe it's going to happen. So get back in the game with us. I will say, we've had thousands of people that, I'm talking about refunds, talking about the negative side, but we've had thousands of people to stick with us.
Yeah.
That didn't tell, I don't want to give my ticket back. I'm staying in the, and it's just all that's so encouraging. And you walk into restaurants around, everywhere, and you have people coming up to me saying Gulf Coast Jam, and we're there, can't wait for Gulf Coast Jam, and can't wait for Sand Jam. It's encouraging. It's just, bear with us. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to take care of our consumers. I call them my jammers. We're going to take care of them. That's who we make a living with, and that's how we survive. So know that we're going to do the right thing. Know we're going to do everything to make you feel safe, and know that June 4, 5, and 6, we're going to have Leonard Skinner, Brad Paisley, and Luke Bryan play this beach.
All right. Thank you so much, Rendy.
It's my
Appreciate
pleasure.
Your time. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you again next time.